everyone. So we are in the kitchen today, keeping busy. We are past our due date, and we are just finding lots of things to keep going, to keep our mind off of not being in labor. Bethy is eating cookie dough while we're getting ready to make some chocolate chip cookies. I'm trying to keep the cookie jar full so that if we need to pack our snack bag, then we're all set. The kids are all set to go to grandma's. I'm all set to go to the hospital. And nothing is going on. I keep having dreams that baby is going to come. I was dreaming last night that my water was breaking.
Me too.
I probably woke up 6 or 7 times. Bethy's having a baby too, she says. She says she's got a little girl in her belly. So today, I am making strawberry rhubarb freezer jam. And the reason for the strawberry rhubarb freezer jam is our little chef Murdoch. As you know, I just made a video of him making sandwiches. He really likes jelly and jam. He likes toast and he likes peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. More so on his toast. So, strawberries are in season right now. It's summertime and the rhubarb is growing, and I pick my heads off of my rhubarb, the seed heads. Excuse me. A lot of acid reflux with this pregnancy. So I pick the seed heads off and I continue to get fresh rhubarb all summer. The more you cut it, the more it grows back, and then you don't get, the longer it's standing there, it can get like dried out and hard, and it's okay kind of for rhubarb crisp and stuff, but I just prefer to have it as fresh as possible and not just have it standing there in the garden. So I was at Tractor Supply a while ago, and they had a bunch of this Mrs. Wages light fruit pectin. The light fruit pectin takes less sugar, so that's always right up my alley. And as you know, a lot of times I replace the sugar with either maple syrup or with honey. We have a shortage of honey right now, and I'm conserving the maple syrup for the roadside stand, so we're actually using sugar. This only took 3 cups of sugar. I'm doing a triple batch, and 3 packs of pectin. So this pectin was 49 cents a piece. Our strawberries were about $2 a pack. And then with the rhubarb, I have a total of about 16 cups of fruit in my pot. One of the tricks with the Mrs. Wages pectin is that you combine your sugar, your water, and your pectin and boil it separately. And once that's boiling, make sure that you don't scorch it. You add it to your fruit. So I had my fruit sitting and just letting it rest. I actually prepared this over the last couple of weeks, I guess, when there was a sale. I picked up some strawberries. And a lot of times when they're on sale like that, they will mold in a day or two. And I just don't have the refrigerator space with a house full of 6 people for those strawberries. So I bagged them up, got them in the freezer, and everything is fine. So let me show you inside of my pot. Freezer jam is one of the easiest jams you can make. And this has been boiling for, well, I'm sorry, it's been on the stove for about 15 minutes. Just slowly melting the ice crystals. I didn't add extra water to the pot like they recommend. They recommend for every 6 cups of fruit, a cup of water. But because I had ice crystals on it, I didn't want to add more water and have it be too liquidy. Then you end up with sauce instead of jam, which is fine if you're having it on your ice cream. So then it just says to let it boil for 3 minutes. So you can see here we're starting to bubble. So I'm going to set that timer for 3 minutes right now. Now you can run all of your fruit right through the food processor. My rhubarb was freshly cut. I cut the tops outside and the stems outside and leave it right there to help with weed control. And I just kind of spread the leaves out at the base of the plant. That way it is composting right there. It is resupplying the ground with the nutrients with the compost. And if the chickens or anything else wants to come and scratch around, then they can. I really don't have a lot of grass and weeds around my rhubarb. I really need to clean out where my asparagus grows next to the rhubarb and use those leaves over there also. So then I run the rhubarb after it's washed straight through the food processor on the dicing chopping blade, and I have a Cuisinart food chopper, and I have made videos in the past with that. And then I can adjust it to whatever thickness I prefer, and it's generally, I think I put it at about a 5 or a 4, and I use the same setting for all the rhubarb, get it all processed in a day and put it in my freezer. That way anything left for the year, I can either sell it off at the roadside stand, give it to the neighbors, or just let it go. It's always best to share as much as possible. So like lately, I had a couple plants to dig up and I took them to the doctor's office. I'm going to take them some fresh rhubarb, and they can make their own pies and do things like that. But every now and then, like one appointment, I think I took them a jar of jelly and a basket of homemade biscuits. Little nice things like that really go a long way with people. It's just the kind of thing that my mom and stepdad used to do for people. My mom was a hairdresser and was supporting poor kids, and a lot of people did that stuff for us. Instead of giving her a tip, they would bring us, you know, extra groceries and things from their garden. So that's just about done. Now for our freezer containers, they make special containers for the freezer. And this one is an old one. A neighbor gave me a bunch of these. These are by Cold Spot. And they are so reusable. They're great. They are a lot heavier duty plastic than like your plastic Rubbermaid containers or the Ziploc containers. If you're going to just give them away, you could probably do the Ziploc containers. And this goes straight to the freezer. You can use it right out of this at the refrigerator. Mason jars are freezable, but you have to leave enough headspace that you don't damage your jar because it's going to expand with freezing. So that was our 3-minute timer for our boil. As I was saying, freezer jam is one of the easiest jams you can make. You guys get to see my whole house today. Because you're not taking the time to can. I am overdue pregnant and I don't want to be on my feet in the kitchen making jam all day long with the canning process. So this just makes it simple, straight to the freezer. I will let these cool for an hour. You can let them cool in the refrigerator or just on the countertop, and then put them in the freezer. They say to use it within a year. We do lots and lots of canning. So we have more than enough jelly to share. Very hot, Becky, stay back. And we also have enough that we can have more than a jar a week. The bigger the kids get, the more jelly we use. You can use it on ice cream or on desserts. All of my failed jellies that turn into sauces just get used for ice cream topping. And sometimes you don't know. The more you mess with the recipe, like doubling or tripling, a lot of times they don't recommend that with jellies because it can make the pectin not set correctly. And you want to leave yourself about a 1/2 inch of headspace. And a really handy thing for canning, especially with this, you can see I'm setting them down. My daughter got me these gloves. They're a silicone glove for cooking, and I use these for canning because they allow me to be able to hold a jar in my hand that is hot as it's getting filled, and you'd be surprised at how much heat transfers through this plastic. It can make it a little bit clumsy for holding it, But one of the things about the freezer jam that makes it so fast is you're skipping the canning process. You're not heating up your house. And we are right in the midst of summer here. So that really helps a lot. And it is 69 degrees in my house right now with the air conditioning set, I think, at 70. So it's having to work a little hard right now from having this pot on the stove. So if I were to have this pot plus a canning pot on the stove, it might be a little much, a little too much heat. Now usually one this big, I don't recommend for jam, but I had it upstairs clean and ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and do it because I've got some vanilla ice cream ready to be eaten, and I can have some of this right away tonight on the ice cream. And if you're going to directly just put this right in your refrigerator, if you're doing a small batch, the mason jars are fine also. So you can see that glove made it a lot easier for me to be able to hold it. I wasn't having to put it down when it was halfway through. And just like with canning in mason jars, you want to make sure that your sides are clean. I always have a little dribble. And because I'm not using the mason jars, there's no funnel. There's no magnetic and boiling of the lids. You want to make sure that these are washed in hot water. And I basically fill the sink with boiling water for the rinse and let them sit there. And you can see this older container, it's real flexible with it being so hot. And they come with these nice lids. The newer ones have a blue lid, and they generally all, no matter the age, have an area stamped into this, if it'll pick up. It says date. You can see kind of the little shadow area here. And contents. So you can use just your plain white masking tape. So you put this on and then you press here in the center, and that helps burp it to let any extra air out. And then you don't get any ice crystals. So then that seals it down. So super easy to do, super nice gift to give to a neighbor who's done a favor for you. A little container of freezer jam. And you are in control of how much sugar product you're using or sugar substitute. You and your diet are your biggest health insurance, because the doctors want to write you a prescription. Just remember that. That is kind of a rule of thumb in our house, that my grocery shopping and what I feed our family is going to depend on, our health is depending on that. So be healthy, everybody. Take care of yourself. Make yourself a batch of homemade freezer jam and enjoy it with some vanilla ice cream. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye. Hey, everyone. So here is the finished wrap-up of my homemade strawberry rhubarb freezer jam. I did a variety of different sizes, but you can see here I've got some small ones to give away, medium size for the family, the one big one there for ice cream for today. With jam, I have my taste tester here and my empty pot that he's working on. What do you think? How do you like the taste?
delicious.
Delicious. So one of my neighbors had given me a bunch of these containers, and I have been picking them up a couple at a time at yard sales. I actually had a price sticker that I paid 50 cents for a set of 3, so that's pretty great. But I wanted to just show you kind of up close some of the different varieties. So this one is Bespak, B-E-S-P-A-K. Some said Hefty. This one here said Mobile Oil Corporation on it, which I have to share with my husband because he's an oil man. But there's just lots of different sizes and varieties that you can get. This one says Cordite, C-O-R-D-I-T-E. I hadn't heard of that one before. And then this one says Lustroware. The hardest thing about these is trying to figure out which lid goes with which container. So after I made a match, then I washed them, boiled them in the sink on the rinse, set them here to dry out a little bit, and then filled them. And now we will cap them all with the lids. But you can see here, that's about how much headspace you leave. Some of the containers actually had a line for headspace. So it is about a 1/2 inch so that you don't get too much for ice crystals. And with the burping, that helps a lot too. So little Murdoch is waiting for something to cool off here so he can make some toast. What do you think?
I think it's cool enough for toast.
All right, let's make some toast. Thanks for taste testing, buddy. Hey everyone, so we are in the kitchen. We've had a busy day. We've done the jam, the freezer jam today. The baby calf was born today. It's been a busy day, and I am overdue. So one of the things that I am doing for myself is I'm eating super, super well, because especially I think when sometimes you have a baby, you need a lot of sleep and rest, and maybe you're not eating the best or just don't have the appetite yet. I eat really well before the baby's born. So this is what I'm having for dinner tonight. I have liver with a whole onion. I have fried potatoes with a whole onion in here. And I am cooking with sea salt and pepper. And this has a little over, well, about a 1/2 stick of butter and a little bit of oil. And then I did the rest of the stick of butter here with just about a tablespoon of oil. And if you don't know this, liver is really high in iron. And if you don't like taking iron supplements while you're pregnant, you can eat plenty of liver. We prefer the calf's liver over regular beef liver. It will have less, well, how the liver works is that it cleans any toxins from your body. So any of the organ meats, if you buy like the calf's liver, it would have naturally any less contaminants in it. This is actually store-bought liver because it's not something I had in my freezer right now. And I was really craving it. So when I flip it, then I add the onion, or you can take it out and add the onion to the pan so that it's cooking in any of the beef juices. But this is how I like to do it. Then I pull the liver out when it is finished cooking. I'm going to just add a little salt and pepper to this side. The sea salt's real good for you, and we do buy the iodized sea salt, so you do get the iodine you need. Your body definitely requires this. And this is going to put me in optimum performance for days because I am putting lots of good healthy stuff in my body. So, if you are needing a health boost, remember what I said in the freezer jam video. Your diet is your health insurance policy. So thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next time.